All right, let's get right into it. Now, we're not talking about your average box of bandages here. We're diving into a multi-billion-dollar war, a battle being fought to heal some of the most difficult, most persistent wounds imaginable. This is the battle for the skin, and it's all based on a deep dive analysis by HDIN Research.
So, just how high are the stakes? Well, we're looking at a global market that's projected to be worth a staggering $13.1 billion in 2025. And that number, it's not just about money. It represents a massive frontier in medical technology. But, the money is only half the story.
The real reason that market is so huge comes down to this number, 100 million. That's how many people around the world are living right now with chronic wounds that just won't heal. And this whole crisis is being fueled by two global trends that just aren't stopping: our aging populations and the rise of chronic diseases.
And you got to understand, this is really a silent health crisis. We're not talking about a simple cut or scrape. These are complex, often debilitating conditions that are a huge challenge for healthcare systems everywhere. So let's start there, but really digging into the human and economic cost. Because once you see that, you'll understand why the corporate and tech battles that follow are so intense.
And that brings us right to the heart of the conflict. It's a strategic fight for dominance between the established giants of the industry and a whole new wave of nimble, tech-focused companies that are basically rewriting the rulebook.
Here's a look at the key players in 2025. You've got Smith Nephew, the absolute giant, holding its ground with solid growth. Then you have Coloplast, growing even faster, but mostly by acquiring other companies. And then look at the disruptors. Organogenesis is posting an incredible 17% organic growth. That's huge. And the pioneer, Avita Medical, is also seeing double-digit growth. You can literally see the battle lines being drawn right here.
So, how are the big guys playing this game? Well, Smith Nephew is what you'd call the steady defender. They're using their huge product portfolio and, this is key, their deep well of clinical evidence to protect their market share. Coloplast, on the other hand, made a really bold move. They went out and bought a company called Kerecis and its revolutionary fish skin technology. That one move just supercharged their growth.
The disruptors, though, they're playing a totally different game. You've got pioneers like Avita Medical just pushing the absolute boundaries of what's possible with new cellular therapies. And then there's Organogenesis. They're playing chess, not checkers. They're the regulatory strategists, going after the toughest, most stringent FDA approvals to build this powerful competitive moat that's just incredibly difficult for anyone else to cross.
Now, this whole market battle, it's all being fueled by a massive technological revolution. We're seeing this incredible shift away from just passively managing a wound to actively regenerating the body itself. And the key idea here is something called regenerative medicine. It's a complete paradigm shift. See, it's not about just patching things up anymore. It's about using technology to help the body generate new, natural tissue to replace what was damaged. It's about empowering a patient's own body to heal in a way it just couldn't before.
For decades, this was pretty much it. The old way was all about creating a passive shield. You'd put on a dressing to protect the wound, manage moisture, and basically just hope the body could heal on its own.
But the new way, it's like night and day. It's about giving the body a biological toolkit. These new technologies aren't just passive shields. They are active participants in the healing process. They provide scaffolds for new cells to grow on, signals to guide them, and sometimes even the new cells themselves. It's all about regenerating the skin from the inside out.
And just look at how radical this innovation is. The source materials are just incredible. We're talking about processed fish skin, pig placenta, amniotic membranes, all being used to provide a matrix for new growth. We're even seeing a patient's own skin cells get harvested and literally sprayed back onto their wound. I mean, this isn't science fiction. This is the front line of wound care today.
But all this incredible tech, it's not happening in a bubble. The entire battlefield is being reshaped by some really powerful external forces, from government policy all the way to global manufacturing.
And a major shockwave just hit the industry. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS, the single biggest payer for healthcare in the U.S., they completely changed how they pay for these advanced products. And overnight, the game wasn't just about who had the best tech anymore. The new rule was, you had to prove your product delivered real, measurable economic value.
And that pressure is felt all over the world. Take a company like TNL, a key South Korean manufacturer. They are unbelievably efficient, turning over their entire inventory more than 5 times a year. But even with that amazing performance, they are super vulnerable to policy changes in other countries.
A price reset by CMS in the US can send ripples all the way back to their production lines in Asia, squeezing their profits.
So this all leads us to the biggest question of all. What does it actually take to win in this brand new, super complex era of wound care?
The answer might just be found in a single number: 5.6 days. That's how much shorter the hospital stay is for burn patients treated with Avita's spray-on skin technology. Think about that. That's not just a clinical benefit for the patient, it's a massive economic win, saving the healthcare system thousands and thousands of dollars per person. This, right here, this is the new currency of success.
And that brings us to the core conclusion from the entire HDIN research analysis. In this new world, the winners will be the companies who can do two things better than anyone else: prove they create huge economic benefits and get the highest levels of regulatory approval. Just having a great product isn't enough anymore.
So it leaves us with this final thought. In a high-stakes industry that's being turned upside down by both radical new biology and tough new government policies, the old ways of winning might not work anymore. The battle for the skin, it's really just getting started.
This whole explainer was based on the 2025 Global Advanced Wound Care Report. So for the full, detailed analysis behind this incredible story, you can check out HDIN Research at their website.